Adam here with the Walser Automotive Group, and what I want to do today is take you on a test drive. So next to me here, I have the 2026 Hyundai Sonata. We'll look at the interior, exterior, some of the trim level specifics, then go for a spin around, see what it's like out on the road. Okay, so now we're behind the wheel of the 2026 Hyundai Sonata, and this is a new trim level for 26. This is the SEL Sport. So the SEL and the SEL Convenience have been dropped for 26 in replacement of this model. Now there's some pretty cool stuff in here, so we'll touch on that a little bit later, but the only other thing they added this year would be the new blue hybrid trim. So if you're looking for the best possible fuel economy, the hybrid will certainly be the one to look at there. There's a couple different engine options as well as some cool equipment in these models, so let's put it in drive. We'll go for a spin around and touch on some of those features. Let's begin with what powers this particular Hyundai Sonata. Now it's a 2.5 four-cylinder, so that's going to give you about 191 horsepower, and then there's the hybrid option like I said, so that gives you 192 horsepower, but that one also will be paired with an electric motor. Now there's also going to be the N-Line, so that one's going to have a 2.5 liter turbocharged engine, and that's going to give you 290 horsepower. So you're adding 100 more horsepower to that model, so if you're looking for something with some get up and go and a little bit more fun to drive, that would be the option you're going to want to consider there. Now, maybe you can kind of hear all this ice and snow kind of crunching underneath the vehicle because we did get some pretty nasty weather last night, a middle of January snow and rainstorm, so it's a good day to test this vehicle because the Sonata will come standard with front wheel drive, but this particular one has the H-Track. Now that's going to be the all-wheel drive system, so that's going to give me that best possible bite and traction in the snow. Yet what's really cool about this, it's kind of a front wheel drive bias. So the fuel economy, you're still rated at 33 miles per gallon on the highway with the H-Track system. So like I said, if you're looking for the best possible mileage, the hybrid would be the way to go. But if you're looking for something that can kind of tackle these Minnesota winters, but you don't want to go up to like a crossover SUV, don't need all the space, the Sonata actually is a really great option that still gives you a ton of cool equipment and maybe can even keep the price down a little bit depending on which trim level you're looking at. So now the SEL Sport falls in just above the SE base trim. So there's still going to be cloth interior in here, yet these are heated seats. So like I said, for those Minnesota winters, this is going to come standard with a remote start on the key fob. So that allowed me to fire up the vehicle this morning, kind of melt some of that ice and snow off of there. And you can actually start the heated seats in here, which is really nice. That is such a game changer for winter. If you're driving an older vehicle that maybe doesn't have the heated seats, it's something that's really hard to get back up once you have it. Let's jump back out to the exterior. So there's some really cool features and options on the Hyundai Sonata. Like I said, you can go up to that N-Line that adds like a really sporty kind of look to it. But even this one, there's little kind of accents and trim pieces around the vehicle that just look really good. The front end design with that LED light bar that runs across and now their kind of flush logo onto the hood just gives it a really aggressive and kind of cool appearance to the front. Not to mention on the back, just above the taillights, there's these little kind of fin blades, so you get a taste of some of that sportiness that Hyundai really does offer. Now the ride and drive overall is pretty amazing. This one gets the 18-inch wheels. Now this is a Pirelli, kind of more of a summer focused tire, but I haven't really had any issues. I think if you put a set of snow tires on this thing, it would be unstoppable in these kind of slippery and icy conditions. But for the most part, once you go from front wheel drive to all wheel drive, it definitely gives you that added bite and traction. Plus there's also selectable drive modes in here. So what's cool about that, I can click the button, I can go between like a sport mode, you can go to my drive or a snow mode. So that's again just kind of helping you get the best possible bite and traction depending on what you're looking for, or to have a little bit of fun in sport mode. There is paddle shifters behind the steering wheel, so if you want to liven it up a little bit, have a little bit of fun on your daily commute, you can certainly do that. Now let's talk about safety, because it is slippery and icy today. Having lots of safety is always a good thing. Now the Hyundai safety suite is pretty impressive. Things even standard on the vehicle like the blind spot monitoring or the smart city cruise control. So if that's something you haven't had before, it's really pretty cool. So what that means is it's kind of like an adaptive cruise control system. It will give you a selectable range to the vehicle in front of you. It will keep that distance when you're on the road. It just makes it really easy to eat up a bunch of miles. And maybe if you're not paying attention for a second, the vehicle will absolutely be paying attention for you. It can kind of slow you down and speed you up. It just works pretty cool. And maybe you're running the cabin. Maybe you got a longer highway commute every day. That is pretty sweet. Now, some of the other stuff in here, like I said, maybe you don't want to go to a crossover SUV to sacrifice the fuel economy or don't need all the space. This one still has a pretty impressive amount of trunk room. Now, when you pop open the back, you can do it on the key fob, or there's a little button just kind of in the logo on the back that pops that rear kind of huge area open. I was amazed at just how much space is in there. I left like the floor mats and the big box for it, so you could kind of tell, because on camera it's hard to get a sense of how big that trunk really is. There even is like a little pass through if you need a little bit of extra space, but I think you could easily do a Costco run, fill this thing up, and if you needed extra room, even throw some stuff in the second row. Now, if you got the family, you got the car seats, even into the second row, there's plenty of room back there. Not to mention, as the kids get a little bit older, you need some more charging, USB-C charging in the back of the vehicle. As well, you get 2 more ports up here, so that gives you 4 USB-C charging ports and wireless charging for your phone up here. So it does make it really easy to make sure everything is charged up when you're on the move. Now, speaking of my phone, I paired it up to the infotainment screen. I think it's a 12.3-inch display, giving you wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. The home screen is pretty basic and easy to use. They probably figured most people are gonna use the CarPlay or the Android Auto, but I mean, for the most part, text messaging, Google Maps, Spotify. Like I said, if you're in an older vehicle and you haven't had that before, it is a game changer feature. It just makes it so easy to not be messing with your phone. It's down there on the wireless charging pad. And you can use Siri even with the steering wheel controls. So if you're a Siri user with your iPhone, you can press and hold, use it that way to do some commands. It's a pretty cool little system. Then on the other side, we have a fully digital gauge cluster. So that gives you just a quick look at some of your information. Like I said, you can see the different all-wheel drive, kind of where the H-track is putting power to, and then just some of your trip computer stuff is in there, and then just a few of your safety things. So once you set that cruise control, it would pop up in there, which is pretty cool. And then it also can give you speed limit signs. So it'll read, tell me I'm in a 40-mile-an-hour zone. I love that feature. And then just giving you the temps outside. The ride and drive in here is really good. It's kind of got a direct feel. The steering isn't too heavy or too light, yet it's really tackling these roads. It's a terrible time of year. Like I said, it's slippery, there's potholes everywhere, yet this vehicle just kind of takes over everything. It's really smooth, quiet. Cabin is really nice as well. It's very well insulated in here, so you don't get a ton of road noise. Even though it is pretty soupy today, it's just a great place to be. Then onto our steering wheel, just the simple buttons, things to connect for like your phone, whether you're skipping tracks or kind of want to go through that menu on there. It really is pretty simplified. I mean, there's a lot to like here out of these Hyundai Sonatas. They give you not only comfort and luxury, but we also have to touch on the price, because MSRP on this one's going to be around $32,000. So you're getting, I mean, when you look at the average new car price, it's over $50,000 right now. Yes, this maybe has about the average amount of equipment, but it's $20,000 less than that. I mean, that's a pretty big deal, especially when you're getting 33 miles to the gallon. You're getting things like the CarPlay. It also has these super comfortable heated seats, or power with lumbar. Even the style and design language in here is really great. I think if you want something for a commuter, yeah, you can even fit the kids in the back or plenty of trunk space. I don't know if everybody needs a crossover SUV. Maybe you just need a vehicle where you're not sacrificing a lot, yet you're still getting the great mileage, and not to mention Hyundai's warranty. 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. That's a decade of you just keeping up with your scheduled maintenance and having plenty of reliability with these vehicles. I mean, this little 4-cylinder has come a long way. It's still got plenty of power to get you up and moving into traffic, yet they've made them pretty reliable. So I think, like I said, if you're in the market or you're driving an older vehicle and you're thinking about upgrading, and you want to drive something you don't really have to worry about or think about, plenty of warranty, plenty of tech, I think the 26 Hyundai Sonata, especially in this SEL Sport trim, is one to check out, add to the list, come out and take for a spin, see what you think. Now, that was just a quick look and drive at the 2026 Hyundai Sonata. Now, if you have any other questions or you'd like to schedule a test drive, you can visit us online at walser.com or stop by either one of our locations. We'd be more than happy to help. Thanks again for watching.